Hi there, you fellers and fell nuts. Getting ready to cut this grass right here. It's been like 5 days since I cut it last. Did a pretty good job cutting it every day. And then got busy and fell behind. And so it's probably going to take more off than I want it to. The battery on this was dead. I was going to cut last night, but the battery was completely dead. So I've got to had it charging overnight. Hopefully it'll start up now. And then once we finish cutting this, I'm going to take it around front and we're going to try and diagnose why the battery is not charging. So I'll walk you guys through that process as well. But yeah, let's get this thing started and cut this area back here. All right, guys, so I got the walker back up front here. I went ahead and sprayed off some of the dirt that's over here. Next thing I'm going to do is pull this air filter off so I got better access. This is a voltage regulator right here. I think that this is probably going to be our culprit, but I'm not 100% sure. It's either going to be this or it's the stator itself. So we're going to test with it running, obviously. We'll see what we've got coming out of here. If we've got 14 volts to the regulator, but nothing coming out going to the battery, which I already know that we don't have anything going to the battery, that means we got a bad voltage regulator. If we've got nothing coming here, it means we got a bad stator. So we're going to go ahead and pull this air cleaner off just so we got better access back here to the wires and stuff. And then I'll show you how we're going to hook this up. So what I'm checking right here is the voltage coming off of the voltage regulator as well as the voltage coming off of the battery. At the battery, I'm getting something like 11.6 volts, which means that it's not charging. So there's either an issue with the voltage regulator or there's an issue with the stator itself. So I checked the voltage regulator and I see that I'm getting like 18 volts coming off of that, which means that the stator is charging. The voltage regulator is just not regulating that voltage down to 13, 14 volts so that it can charge the battery. So that tells me that the voltage regulator is the issue, not the stator. So I'm going to have to replace the voltage regulator. All right, so I'm going to take these two bolts off that hold the front of this thing on. There's a washer on the outside, nothing on the inside. You don't want to force these things. You'll end up breaking stuff. I'm trying to do this as gently as possible. Not seeing any movement. Trying to make sure I'm not missing anything. It would be nice if there was just a couple bolts that you could take off and pull this off. But not that I see anywhere. So I'm gonna go get a pair of channel locks. Try and pull that out the rest of the way. Alright, I couldn't find channel locks, so we're going with a pair of pliers. Alright, got that one out. Alright, got that done. I gotta pull this throttle cable off of here, which is actually on the choke cable thing because the choke cable broke. I got a couple seat studs to pull off, and this thing should be free, ready to get cleaned off. Alrighty, I'm gonna clean this stuff up right here, and then we'll go ahead and start the process of cleaning that off and getting it ready for paint. So we got it washed off there. We're gonna let it dry. I'm gonna go get it cleaned up. So I'll catch you guys back after a while. All right. So unfortunately, I didn't get to film the first part of this. So I took a grinder and ground off all the stickers, and then I took some acetone and wiped the whole thing down real well. There's also some rust in here that I kind of cleaned out before starting the painting process. But as you can see, we're going with gray. Hope you guys like it. Don't really care if you do though, because I like it. New voltage regulator is supposed to be here tomorrow, so we can get that fixed at the same time this is off. And this puppy will be like it's brand new, even though it's older than dirt. So there's 2 coats of paint on this. Call that good for tonight. Tomorrow, probably hit it with 1 more coat, and then pull the rear wheel off. That's the big caster. Paint that so that it matches and it's not yellow. And we'll pull the deck off and paint the carriage for the deck. The deck itself, I'm going to leave alone for now because I've got there's a couple little holes in it that I want to repair, and the underside of it needs a little bit of attention before I paint it. So it'll be all gray except for the deck. Also got the steering controls that need to get painted. So we'll take care of all that mañana when the sun's back out. See you guys then. All right, guys. So it's the next day. I've already gone ahead and put a 3rd coat of paint on here. This is what we call a 20/20 paint job. Looks good from 20 feet away, or if you're going 20 miles an hour. But it's okay. It's a lawnmower. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this off the table, and then get some other stuff up here so we can get that painted. This mower's got grease zerks all over the place. Like all over the place. Which is nice. Keeps things lubricated and acting pleasant, but that also results in there being grease everywhere. I'm going to focus this first where all the greasy spots are, and then obviously we're going to want to wipe everything down, but any grease on here is going to make paint not want to stick. Alright, I'm going to call that good enough. This is a lawnmower, not a show car, so it doesn't have to be perfect. I have found that when it's windy like this, it really, really helps your paint job come out good. Because you have no idea where your paint's going. Alrighty, we'll let this dry for 20 minutes or so. We'll come back out, put another coat on, let it go for another 20 minutes, and do it all over again. See you guys in a few. So it's time for coat numero dos. Go with this one's going to be get complete coverage on everything. So it's coat number 2 down. We're going to give us another 20-30 minutes. I'm going to go eat lunch. We'll come out and do a 3rd coat on it, and then we'll leave that for hour and a half or so, and we'll flip the whole thing over, paint the bottom side of it, do the same thing, 2-3 coats, and then hopefully by that time the new voltage regulator will be in. Pop the old one off, put the new voltage regulator in, double check everything, make sure it's functioning as it should, and reassemble this bad boy. So see you guys in a few. Alright, so this has been drying for an hour. Came out here, put the 3rd coat on, didn't film it. Sorry, not sorry. We're going to go ahead and flip this bad girl over, paint the bottom side of it. And so, I guess now it's the fun part of reassembling this bad girl. There's probably going to be some cussing involved in this. I need another set of hands. Let me go get another set of hands real quick. Let's get this key and the blade clutch back through here, and then we'll get the throttle cable back in here and hooked up. That's what that shoulder bolt's for. Now I'm remembering. I'll do the throttle cable first. So the issue that I'm facing is this tab right here is supposed to be behind this. The solution that I've come up with that I think will work, rather than taking this whole thing back apart, is I'm going to drill a hole right here in the body so that I can pound that shaft back out through that way. I'm going to do one on the other side too. And then I think once I pound this shaft right here back, it'll give me enough play in this to rotate it down and get it back where it's supposed to be, and then get it back behind there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drill a hole and hope it's not a poor decision. I don't think that, I mean, that hole's not going to affect anything, but hopefully this will fix our problem and we won't have to take it all the way apart. Where did I put my pliers? Just to recap, I ended up drilling this hole through here so I could pound the shaft out and then get that in the location that I needed it, back behind this tab. So we should be good to go there now. Next step is going to be hooking up the throttle over yonder, and then we'll pop this battery back in, hook everything back up there, and get ready to hook the deck up and all that stuff. So I'm going to set you guys on tripod and we'll get to work. I just took a little super glue, ran it around both of those so that they don't move as I set the seat on there. And then I'm going to let that cure up before I actually do anything with it. Alrighty, so these two rods go in here. The shaft's got to go in this coupling right here. This is not the easiest thing in the world to do, but it's also not the end of the world. The newer walkers, this is much easier to do on, but I didn't buy a new walker, I bought an old one. I'm going to blow some of this dirt out of the way so I don't get grass all over myself. My next step is going to be clean these off, put the cotter pins in, and then re-grease. Make sure that we're all greased up there good. That's our replacement for that right here. So this is the new one. This is the old one. Looks like the new one might be slightly bigger, maybe a little bit better cooling. I don't know. Pop this clip off. So to test this, we're going to fire the engine up and then just put positive and negative leads on the actual terminals. We should see somewhere around 14 volts. So let me grab my multimeter, for those of you who want to speak proper English. So it's getting 13.6 volts, which means that it's charging. It was at 12.8 or something like that when it was idling. Kicked the idle up and went to 13.6. So we're back to charging. We're good to go there. Shouldn't have to constantly putting battery charger on this thing anymore. So now since I got room, or I got that done, I'm gonna put the air cleaner back on. Let me get my parts together for the air cleaner and I'll get back with you guys. I'll buy this little rubber guy. And a wing nut. That goes on with our wing nut. Good to go. The only thing we got left to do here is put the hopper on, which I'm going to wait to do until I have some assistance. Alright guys, so last thing that we're going to do on this mower for now is basically what happened is this hopper is kind of tweaked and doesn't hold down onto the chute where the grass comes up into it like it should. So to remedy that, I went and got these toggles, but as you can see, they broke. So we're going to replace those toggle latches with some heavier duty toggle latches. And so I got these from Amazon. Which, as you can see, is a much beefier toggle latch than what's there. So I'm going to pull these off and then we'll mount these on here and mount the catches on the hopper. So really this is not the correct way to fix this. You would want to replace the hopper, but the hoppers are like, I think they're $3,000 when I looked them up. And I'm all for polishing turds, but I ain't spending $3 grand on a new freaking hopper, especially when I only paid a few $100 for this mower. So that'll go on there like that, and then I'll put a catch on the hopper, hook it in the latch, pull it down, and that'll hold it down tight on this hopper. So I'm gonna drill out the other side and then go to the hardware store, pick up the screws that I need, and I'll catch you guys back once that's done. So just like that, hopper's secured down well. Ain't gonna go anywhere.
Much better than spending $3,000 on replacing one. I'm going to clean this up and then we'll show you the final finished product. So she's still a turd, but she's a slightly more polished turd now. I like the gray. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. But I think it turned out all right.